Hi, I'm Henry Arce. I own Lake Jewel Farms, and welcome to my nursery. Hi, welcome back to the Garden Chef. I'm Henry Arce, and we're back at my nursery this morning. We're going to show you how to make some sun-dried tomato basil paste, and we're going to cook some chicken. And for now, we're at the herb garden, and a couple things I wanted to show you is just look at this basil. If you saw our pesto video and how to trim your basil, this has been cut. I've been taking basil off this garden since February. It's now August, that's why we're sweating like horses here, but it just keeps producing. And it's a great product. It's a proven winner. It's called Amazel Basil, and the more you pull off of it, the more it produces. And we'll have this basil year round. So you can get this at the nursery here at Lake Jewel Farms and stop by and see us. And we have so much basil. If you're local and you're going to be doing some cooking, instead of buying these little $3 sprigs of basil, come by and we'll cut you some fresh out of the garden. But for now, we're going to need about a pound of basil to go into our sun-dried tomato paste, and we'll cut that real quick. And then we'll head back to the kitchen and get back to work cooking. Just look at that. That's just amazing how beautiful this basil is, and it's just draping over the sides down here. And we'll just get about a pound of it and take it in, clean it, chop it up, and we'll be eating some chicken tonight. See you in the kitchen. Welcome back to the Garden Chef. I'm Henry Arce. Earlier we were in the garden, we picked some basil, and I'm going to make some sun-dried tomato basil paste. Pretty simple to make. You have to have some sun-dried tomatoes, basil, parsley, some French shallots, some chopped garlic, and a little olive oil, salt and pepper. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this paste, and then we're going to butcher some chicken and make some chicken stock, and then we're going to cook chicken cacciatore. At least my version of chicken cacciatore. So first thing we got to do is we got to grind our herbs. So I have a little flat leaf parsley. I used maybe one bunch of parsley. I've already cleaned these herbs, so we've got one bunch of parsley and about a pound of basil. So we're going to grind this in the food processor, and that's our first step. And this paste can be used for so many things that I really like making this one. It lasts a long time. You can use it for pastas, breads, salad dressings, anything you want to put sun-dried tomatoes in. But it's particularly good on chicken for the dish that we're going to be making tonight. So this takes a few minutes to get this ground up. So we'll work on that. I'm using a dried sun-dried. I don't like to use the sun-dried tomato in the oil. This one is julienne and it's dry. We'll be adding olive oil, but it grinds up this. I find that this is the best for putting in the food processor and grinding it up. So we're getting our basil in there. You can make it with sun-dried tomato in a jar, but I think you're going to pay more, and it's just kind of a waste. Unfortunately, this was not cheap. I couldn't find a good purveyor that had bulk sun-dried tomatoes, but I'm sure if I had a little more time and I searched it out a little more, I would have been fine. But for at least doing this, we have some and it's going to work. So we've got all our basil in here. That's ground up. That was maybe 3/4 of a pound of basil leaves, and I've got some French shallots, and I'm going to say about maybe a 1/2 cup. I'm not going to measure this because you don't need to measure it. You're basically just going to put this together in a food processor, and then you're going to cook with it. So you can make this with rosemary, sage. I happen to like it with basil. I didn't have any rosemary today, so that's okay. So I've got about, I'm going to say a 1/2 cup of shallots, and I'll put about a 1/2 cup of chopped garlic in here. I'll just use all of that. So we've got this now ground up pretty well. It's looking good so far. Once you have all your ingredients together, it goes pretty fast. So now we're just going to feed our sun-dried tomatoes in on top of the basil. And you know, a lot of times the dried sun-drieds are kind of hard. These actually feel nice and moist, and as they grind in the machine, it actually kind of chops them up and softens them up a little bit. Other food processors work different, and they may grind this too fast, so you don't want to over grind it, but this is a Robocoup. I've had this for years, and it does a real good job, so I don't have to worry about it. But a basic food processor will do this, no problem. Just kind of watch what you're doing. Let me give it a little stir there. It's starting to bridge up on me there. Now I'm going to throw about a 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of olive oil in this. And of course I'm making way more than I need for my chicken, but when you're going to make this, you're going to want to make enough so that you can put it away and put it in some tubs and keep it. Well, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to this now. I've got 2 cups in here. I just want to get enough in there now so it starts rolling. By the looks of this, I may need even a little more olive oil. There she goes. Let's give that one more stir. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I've got a mixture of salt and pepper here. If you watch my videos, it's the same thing I use all the time. I mix cayenne, white pepper, and black pepper with salt. Seems to work good for me. If you want to do it individually, you can, but I'm going to put a couple of nice tablespoons of salt and pepper blend in there. And then we'll continue to drizzle the rest of my oil. So I will use the full 2 cups of oil in this. And you can put more oil, make it thinner, or you can just make it thick like this, and if you want to make marinades with it or something like that, you can add a little vinegar and oil to it. But right now that's looking real good. You can hear the machine, how now it's starting to roll, and that's exactly the texture I want. It's cutting those tomatoes real well, it's blending it, and it's just creating the flavor profile I'm looking for, and I just basically use this like an Italian fresh rub. All right, I think that's pretty good. We'll leave it at that. Oh yeah, that looks real good. So, we'll let you take a look at this. So it's just a nice thick paste. It's ground those tomatoes up just where I want them. And that's your sun-dried tomato basil paste. Real simple, but the flavors, you're going to love this for whatever it is you want to cook with it. But tonight, we're going to make a chicken cacciatore. We're going to show you how to bone a chicken out. And then we make a little chicken stock, and we'll marinate it in the sun-dried tomato paste. So yeah, that made a nice little batch. You can see how that turned out. I'm real happy with that. Okay, we'll see you in a little bit.